luxury is a very subjective term, but technically luxury is just it's a statement of lifestyle. It's what are you comfortable with. People do not work to attain knowledge. That's key. Once you're educated enough to understand why I need to buy the real, then you realize that why am I buying a fake? I remember this person showed me a watch and it was a Frank model, and the guy I bought for 80 pounds. Look how cool it is. I was like, dude, you can buy the same one for 4 lakhs. Brands have limitations. If people are looking for chinchilla, they will go and buy a chinchilla. And if you're not supplying it, you will lose that customer to somebody else. You gotta understand that there's no right and wrong answer when it comes to luxury. It is what it makes me feel. A lot of time, we look at an Indian brand and like, oh, they copy designs. There are a lot of international brands. Zara does it every now and then.
Absolutely.
Why aren't we talking about that? If an Indian brand is doing it, what's the problem then?
I pity people who try to buy brands to impress others.
It's perfectly fine. It's up to them. I mean, how is it wrong? It's their money. Let them do what they want to do with the money. Who are we to judge?
3, 2, 1, let's go!
Hi, welcome everyone to the PDA Show, and today we have Puruskar with us from Delhi, who is the founder for Elite Magazine and also the editor. So welcome Puruskar.
Thank
really
you,
excited to have you over here, and I think from so many people I've met, you're the king of luxury, who knows everything
like
about
that.
luxury. And
Been in the industry for long, so you garner knowledge obviously. Been in the industry for such a long time, so yes, but nothing like that's
no,
a
but
very
you
big
started
time.
on a very early age, is what I understand. So
Yes, I started at a very early age. I started right out of college, so I was about 21
really.
when I got into.
But you still have a baby face, you know that, right? You have a very charming and a very young face.
I think I'm a teddy bear body itself. So
so someone would think that you're 27 yet.
really, that's a good compliment. Last time I checked, people used to really consider I'm like in late 40s, and I was like, really, I look that old. So that's a good compliment. I just wish you were a pretty lady or something like that. But yeah, otherwise my wife will kill me for that. But
Okay, so
anyway,
tell
a compliment is a compliment. Go ahead.
So, with what really attracted you towards luxury, and how did you really start at 21? Because 21 में तो ना मुझे तो याद है हम सब मतलब struggle ही कर रहे थे अपनी bottom line के लिए, and to somehow make something out of life. So, what really attracted you towards luxury?
See, I didn't start off directly through luxury. Luxury was a byproduct. Obviously, you can say that good things, always attracted me. See, you don't always understand that luxury is a very subjective term.
Correct.
A lot of people kind of consider luxury just to be good apparel or accessories or bags, handbags. But technically, luxury is just it's a statement of lifestyle. It's what are you comfortable with, and I was always attracted to finer things of life.
Absolutely.
When it comes to good food, good travel. So, and I think it was just how we were bred, or how our parents, it gave the exposure to us at a very young age, and it kind of attracted us. And it was more about making sure that the smaller things are in place. Looking at finesse is what I always
and the eye to detail, right?
Yes.
I've done shows with you, and the eye for detail. You are so adamant to having perfection in everything.
And I think luxury is a byproduct of that only. Because whenever we got to do something, we always had to make sure it is of the best quality. And that was just, I think that's what our parents inbuilt with us, that, table manners, to make sure you present yourself correctly. And that kind of reflects in your business and your whatever you do for that matter. It could be anything in that matter. And you could be designing or making something, making sure that it's just perfect and just right. So I believe that's...
So will it be right to say that luxury, because this is my belief system, I think luxury comes something to do with your mindset. Like for some people, for example, to give you a right perspective, suppose someone is making 5 lakhs a year. For that person to get a hotel room for 10,000 bucks, to spend on a hotel room of 10,000 could be a luxury. Compared to versus a guy who makes 5 crores a year, getting a hotel room for 20,000 would be a basic necessity. Do you relate with that?
I agree with you on that. But I'll tell you what, it's about where would you be okay to settle with.
Correct.
So it's purely that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a very interesting story. This is before I started working, and I wanted a beautiful big television because one of my friends had a huge television, and I was into music and I used to listen to concerts. So I never really watched television like a regular television. For me, a big TV was with good music. I could listen to good concerts. I could get DVDs and
But you
listen
have
to-
the ear for music as well. I've heard you play the piano and you're fantastic at it.
Yeah.
Even after not playing it for a long time, you were at it.
I normally play the guitar. I used to.
Even I play the guitar. I didn't know
Yeah.
you play the guitar too.
Piano is something I just kind of like pick with friends and stuff like that. A little bit of
Wow.
drums and piano. But the point is, I used to listen to concerts. I was telling the story. I'll get back there. So I wanted a large television. And that time you didn't have those large LEDs. You used to
When
have
was
those
this? Which year was this?
long back. I was maybe right out of school, and I was like, I want a big. I must be 17, 18 years from now. Looking
So,
at.
like 20 years back.
Yeah, average. You can look at
हाँ,
that.
तो तब तो बहुत स्क्रीन बहुत बड़े वो फ्लैट स्क्रीन का क्रेज हुआ करता था.
So the only large, उस time screens आई नहीं थी, flat screens थी ही नहीं.
हाँ.
So the only thing we had was a projector TV. A projector TV used to be this huge thing, and inside used to be a lamp, and it was actually projected on that television. It was called a projector TV, but those were really expensive. They were
Right.
like really expensive, and I went to my dad and was like, I want a projector TV. My friend had bought one. That was 55 inch or something. And it used to look very huge. It had a big bottom and a thing, and I had some very good. So I had good sound system anyhow in my house. So I was like, I'm going to put that. I'm going to watch concerts. For my concert, I want to create a room of my own where I can, we can all sit and enjoy like good Pink Floyd or something like that. So my dad said, no, there's no need. We have,
Zarurat kya hai? Typical dad.
He used to be very. I mean, he used to always encourage for everything, but I used to exploit a lot. So let's be very honest. So a no was, and I think I needed that no. I'll tell you what, because that when you have limited resources, you find out ways
That's
to actually
true.
get what you want.
That's
So parents limiting resources are actually a very good thing. Today, what I see not happening is parents don't limit resources, and that's you think that everything is free. So leaving that's a different conversation again. So now this television, when I was actually going to plan to buy this, my dad said no, and I wanted one. So there was two options. He did give me an option to go and buy a regular television. I had that money.
Box TV.
Yeah, the box TV, and I was like, no, I don't want to buy that. So I remember at that point in time, a TV used to be somewhere on in the range of 50,000 or something like that, and that particular TV was about 3.5 lakhs.
Yeah, wow.
I was like, no
That's
way.
like buying a car 20 years back, you could get an Alto or something for
Yeah,
that.
so I was like, no way, I'm settling. So for almost about 2 years, I did not have a TV in my room. Now that was not
Because you didn't want to settle for a box TV.
Yes, I was like, no, that I don't need it. This is not doesn't
Yeah, so that's where you draw the line, yeah.
I was like, that's not what I need. So why should I just waste my money and buy that? But I said, you know what? Give me the money. I'll keep searching. I'll keep searching. That's the most important thing. People don't go and ask. In India, what we see, people get intimidated. I never got intimidated of entering a store and asking, what's the price of this?
That's so true.
Though I knew this was beyond my capacity, but I kept on doing that. I kept
To
on
set
doing
a bar
that.
for yourself.
Yeah, like
कितना कमाना है पता तो चले.
well, it's not like that. I was not earning that point. I might just go into the store and say, how much is this for? How much is this for? Every second store I used to see used to have a big TV. I used to go and check. Maybe there's a discount running. Maybe they're throwing their old sets out. If there's a store piece available or something like that, something like that.
Right.
I like, let me keep on doing that. Let me keep on doing that. One day I went to a store, which was a mall which normally people didn't go to. I went there for some stationery and stuff like that. And it used to be a big electronic store. They opened a huge store, but I don't think people entered that store. So they had this big TV and there was a sale running. I entered that store. I'm like, listen, what's the sale? He's like 70% off.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And I went to the store and like, we have this particular model, which is a display model, which is actually being used on the store at the floor to show how the model works. And this particular model we are selling off. So I was like, how much is this for? And he's like, 70,000. So,
wow.
And I was like, this is something I can afford. So I ran back, I spoke to my dad, and I got that TV. So it took time. I mean, you had patience. You had to
patience, yeah.
wait and see what are you ready to settle for. The same thing happened with the first time I bought a car. Uh, I did not. I said no. I don't want to. So my dad had a big cars, but I was not allowed to drive it. And he
You
said,
have to earn
"Go."
it.
Yeah,
drive it.
that's what business families. That's there. But when I was going to college, he didn't want me to go in a big fancy car because that sets a bad precedent. But I never said like I want a big car. So I had a Honda City. He got me a Honda City, which for that time was a very big car,
Yeah.
and I'm very thankful for that. But after about 2-3 months, I got really bored of it. I had gone to the store to get it repaired, to the workshop for a service, average service, and I traded it in. I said I traded that car for a used Mondeo, which was a 30 odd some lakhs car,
Yeah.
a Ford Mondeo, and I traded that car
Where
in
do you get the
without
money
asking.
from?
I traded the car.
Traded like how? Honda City versus
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
How
yeah.
is that possible?
Because see, it had huge depreciation. Again, that car, which was about 30 odd some lakhs, was about 4 years old, had already depreciated to a price point of about 5 lakhs. And my Honda City, which was valued at a similar price. So I traded that car in because,
Brilliant.
and you won't believe, I drove that car for about 3 or 4 years. And I then also sold that car for 3.5 lakhs. So I learned the fact that, that car had already taken its depreciation. So, yeah, it's completely a different mindset.
Yeah, so I think from there, if you talk about pre-owned cars, or now the concept of knockoff is coming up in a very big way. So what do you have to say about that?
That is something I'm not very.
Thrift and
Thrift is
knockoff.
something else. See, thrift is still. You can buy vintage, and there's good stuff. I mean, there are good brands out there selling vintage products, but I always feel that fakes are again.
No, not fakes. So when we talk about thrift and knockoffs,
Knockoff is fake, right?
yeah. So but thrift is the pre-owned ones.
Yeah, thrift store, for example, yeah, people giving up their used products.
Yeah.
Normally, it's called a thrift store.
Thrift store, yeah.
Especially in the US, it's called a thrift store.
Exactly.
But in India, they call pre-loved. So a lot of pre-loved stores have opened up.
Right.
And if for example, if you've outgrown the product, or you don't like the product, or you want to upgrade something, so people normally go to this pre-loved store and they sell their products, and
Right.
it's okay. It's perfectly fine if somebody wants to buy a pre-love. Why not? As I bought a used car, why not? If there's a good product you're getting on pre-love, and sometimes you get some amazing pieces,
That's
vintage
what you need
pieces.
to be lucky, yeah.
And if you understand luxury, trust me, there are some very good designer pieces which are never going to be available in the world through some amazing designers. And why not go and buy it? Why
But
not?
are there any brands doing thrift in India?
Yes, there are a lot of companies. They are growing quite well actually. It's a great market, and there's huge demand in the country.
So what you do with Elite Magazine, and you also deal in a lot of luxury products and clothes. Do you ever plan
So-
to do that?
So Elite Magazine is a publication.
Right.
So we are a luxury publication. We work with a lot of brands. Though we've never worked with a pre-loved brand yet, but yes, there's a great market. Luxury is growing at an exponential pace in India.
Absolutely.
But particularly as a magazine is concerned, we normally serve to the 0.1% of the country. When it comes to travel, to automobiles, to apparel for that matter, we are like a guide to them. Somebody is trying to buy something, they can obviously explore the magazine. It's in simple words, we tell people how to spend money. So that's the easiest way.
You show them the avenues. But so if you're an editor for the magazine and you play with the content, it has luxury, I believe, is something to do with the psychology. And so what psychology really attracts luxury?
See, as I said, luxury as the word has been abused quite a lot. It's just the final thing. For example, what do we do with as a content? We try and showcase the best of everything when it comes to travel, when it comes to food. Where should you dine? For example, let's take an example. Earning money. When I look at it, earning money is good, and let's say you've already done it. You've got yourself a big chunk of money. Your company is doing successfully well, like yours. You've already attained good amount of success, or you inherited something thanks to your grandfather or something. Now, what would you do with that money? you'll end up spending, obviously.
Right.
Correct. What are the avenues that you have? Where would you spend?
So this is about people who already have the money. So I think then it goes beyond. आपके पास पैसा है, तो अब आप क्या करोगे? You would look for something for snob value.
Not really. I have, for example, if you're a third generation entrepreneur who has always seen money in life, you have different views.
Yeah. So that
you
becomes
have,
your way of life.
So again, so the publication technically deals with the people, because we deal with mostly 0.1%. So it is, we are showcasing content which is very selective, but we are also showcasing content for the young millennials, the young billionaires who want to learn where to go. Which, for example, recently we did an article about the beautiful clubs in London, private member clubs.
That's interesting.
Again, these are legacy clubs. The reason we did that because everybody was ending up at Annabelle's and Arts Club, but there are a lot of beautiful clubs in London which are heritage properties, private members only, and you can access them through to certain services. And dining there, or being able to, or the kind of atmosphere they have, it's amazing, and it is much beyond any other restaurant that you can dine at. But let's say you want to go and dine at a beautiful restaurant, which is the top restaurants, what you should order there, or where you should go, or what resort to go to.
So you cover all of that.
All of that, or what bag to buy for that matter. So when it comes to all luxury content is what we are.
And how do you select your TG, the readers? Because it has to go in the right hands, otherwise people won't value it.
So initially the magazine was available on stands everywhere. But then we kind of made it subscription based. People who subscribe to the magazine. We already have a large database of people who consume the magazine. The content, our digital content is available online as well. There's an OTT show also coming next month. So that is to do with the most influential Indians. We do a lot of events. So the magazine is fairly available mostly on all these platforms. A lot of our events, activations. But yes.
So when we talk about Elite Magazine and the market about luxury goods, how do you rate Delhi as a city compared to in terms of consumption compared to other cities in India?
Delhi has obviously a large consumption. Delhi does consume luxury in a larger way. I think not really. I mean, with Delhi, luxury is, I think, more visible. But honestly speaking, I feel Hyderabad, Bangalore, Ahmedabad for that matter, is consuming luxury at a much higher pace than Delhi.
Hyderabad, you're so right, because we are opening a store in Hyderabad, and when I recently visited, I was noticing that if you talk about cars on the road, BMWs and Mercedes are like Marutis there, and you actually see Porsches and Aston Martins quite a bit, which I don't spot in Bombay.
Bombay obviously has a lower consumption, no doubt about it.
It's too subtle.
Again, as I said, luxury, it's a very different. For example, in Delhi, you're able to see luxury because the choices people have, the kind of shoes they wear, the kind of clothes they wear, it kind of pops and shows. I think that's more to do with their
product. Then
it's more to do with their the way they consume luxury. Rather than what luxury. For example,
I think the choices you're talking about, the choices are more loud in Delhi.
I would call it loud. It's their personal choice. Yes, it's not as subtle as it. I would prefer it to be. But yeah, I think I have also kind of gained being living in Delhi. Even my choices have now become a little louder, and it's fine. It's you gotta have that. I live here, so
even I have started having a separate wardrobe for Delhi. When I come to Delhi, it's different. So you're never overdressed in Delhi.
Yes, I agree with you. But honestly speaking, the consumption value, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad are far beyond the consumption of Delhi.
Wow. How about Ludhiana compared to Delhi?
Not too much.
So why do they say that most Mercedes are sold in Ludhiana?
Those were the days. It was, you're talking about 90s and early 90s. And yes, Ludhiana went through the boom. They were the largest exporters with their t-shirts, and they were good export houses. Even Moradabad, for that matter, went through that boom. So yes, at one point in time, a lot of Mercedes were bought, but as you said, every second person in Hyderabad is driving a BMW or a Mercedes. So
what I have also seen in our store in Delhi GK1, the impulse buying is way higher than any other stores we have. And the frequency of buying also is much more in Delhi stores. when it comes to buying big size diamonds or buying more frequently, Delhi is on the top level.
Yeah, Delhi, no doubt, has a very high consumption of luxury.
Right.
That's there. But as I said, I think it shows more than it actually is.
Oh,
But
yeah.
look at the quantum. Okay, for example, if I'm sure a lot of people come and buy a lot of diamonds, big diamonds.
Yeah.
Um, but what is the volume? Are they coming again regularly to you?
Yes, yes. In fact, Delhi, you know why? Like, we deal in moissanites and lab grown diamonds. So these things. So what we observed, and over the years, I've been seeing that the market for fakes and the show off culture is much
Wahan
more.
Delhi is no doubt the winning the race.
Yeah, and यहाँ पे ना frauds भी मैंने काफी देखे हैं in terms of it's not nothing personal but what I've observed इतने सालों में moissanite का जो हमारा product है उसका अगर मैं आपको stories बोलूँगा it's crazy. आज just 6 months back की बात है एक I was at the store in Delhi and a customer got a moissanite ring. Of course she didn't know it's a moissanite. She came to buy a moissanite and lab grown diamonds by googling us. And she gave me a ring. It was a 5 carat ring, and she said, "I want something similar." I looked at it with the eyeglass. I was sure it's a moissanite, and I broke the news to her. I told her that it's a moissanite. It's not a natural diamond. And she thought, oh, I'm like any other jeweler. मैं सिर्फ दूसरे jewelers एक दूसरे के माल को खराब बोलते हैं वैसे कुछ कर रहा हूँ. So she said, नहीं नहीं नहीं, it's okay. I've bought it. It's a natural diamond for 15 lakhs. She bought it from Karol Bagh, one of the jewelers, 15 years back for 15 lakhs. Then I told her, see, listen, this is going to hurt you, but this is what my life purpose has been around to tell people what is what.
How old is Moissanite? Has been there for that long?
It's been there since 20 years. तो उस टाइम पे ना दिल्ली में सबसे ज्यादा ये नेचुरल बोल के बिकता था. तो I trained her. We told her, please go back to the jeweler. Tell her you want to return it. You have the invoice and everything. Thankfully, the guy returned the money to her. And ज्यादा सीन नहीं हुआ. But what I'm trying to say is, दिल्ली में कल्चर हमने और ये चीजें ज्यादा देखी है. So does it happen also with brands?
Not really. It's brands are very particular about their image. I'll tell you an example. So I know one of this wonderful lady. I'm not going to name. Now she bought a fake Birkin. Okay, and she thought I would not be able to tell because for
Yeah.
me I can actually look at it. I can tell what because there are a lot of viewpoints. There are a lot of differences. Even if you buy something for a very good amount of value, okay, and according to her this was super fake, okay, and generally, while I was like, so I asked her like, where did you buy this from?
Yeah.
Now this I shouldn't have done that, but it was so obvious.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're tickled to do it.
Now the quality of it was perfect.
Was it genuine leather?
It was genuine leather. It
Oh, so
was
it must
good.
be from the Turkey fakes or something.
No, okay. Now this is the thing.
Yeah.
Now this is the thing about luxury. Now the reason I knew that was not an original was not because of the leather. It was not because of its construction, not because of its material or its hardware.
Was
or
it the
anything of that
logo?
sort. No, I'm sure it was a good fake, no doubt about it. It was because what she was carrying. And what she was carrying was a limited edition piece, which, according to me, hasn't even entered India. Okay, fine, she's not bought from India, she bought from outside. Now, to be able to get that particular bag, you need to be a loyalist of that brand.
Yeah.
To be able to get that particular piece,
You need to be on the wait list.
not a wait list, that is next to an impossible piece to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if I'm not wrong, there were only about 100 pieces in the world made of that particular
Oh, yeah?
product.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the toughest products to buy, maybe in that decade, probably, not even in that year. And she had it, and I asked her, where did you buy it from? She's like, well, I went to the store, I bought it. I'm like, which store? Like, Delhi store.
Then you got
And I was like, if this was available in Delhi, that's impossible that even got allocated for India. That allocation wouldn't have happened.
So
and-
you caught it from the story.
I mean, people, funnily, I was sitting in with somebody and he was wearing a RM and he was wearing an RM skull. And I don't even have to ask him if it's fake or not. It is obviously
That's
fake.
for 2.5 crores?
No, a simple RM for 2. That would be about what? 45 or 50 maybe.
Wow.
So that's about
Insane.
5 million, 5.5, 6 million.
Insane.
And I,
That's like
it's
an apartment.
and I was like, okay, God bless you. So because you don't have the knowledge about the product,
Yeah.
people do not work to attain knowledge.
Correct.
I mean, understand. And once you get the knowledge, you'll never buy fake.
So that's what the people work on information, and any information without knowledge is useless. If you combine information and knowledge,
Because
is
understand something. When you have the knowledge, now you'll never buy fake.
correct.
Because that's the key. Once you're educated enough to understand why I need to buy the real,
Yes.
then you realize that why am I buying a fake?
Yeah. If
You'll
you
go
just,
for a pre-loved. Let me, for example, that bag that she must have bought, she must have spent at least 4.5 lakhs.
even for a fake, huh?
Yes, so that kind of a quality one, even let maybe
Insane.
2.5 lakhs minimum.
Really?
I think why would you do that? If you spend a little bit more and get a pre-loved one, that pre-loved will never lose its value. It's like gold. For
Correct.
example, if I come with you with a bar of gold, what will you do?
Yeah. I will exchange it for any jewelry.
Now that's the same thing with certain brands or products.
Mm-hmm.
They hold so much value, like a Birkin I was talking about. It holds so much value that it is actually like gold. But that fake product lost its value instantaneously. The moment they took it out, that is trash. You can burn it literally. But that particular value, for example, if you spend 4 lakhs and bought a used one, it will always remain 4 lakhs, or actually it might gain value. It might become 6 lakhs. But that knowledge you never had.
Yeah.
So that's, and so for me, person even spending 1 lakh, or I remember this person showed me a watch, and it was a Frank Muller, and the guy like I bought for 80,000. Look how cool it is. I was like, dude, you can buy the same watch for 4 lakhs. I would prefer going and buying that same
and it would
watch
at least
for 4 lakhs, which is an actual one, would always retain its value, rather than spending 80,000 and completely ruining your money. So that watch is just crap.
Yeah.
So that is one thing about luxury. I mean, why buy fake when you can buy real? And there are resources today. You can buy vintage. Go to Japan. They have some. I mean, I've not been there. I have to actually travel to Japan. That's one place I haven't go. But I keep on
So
seeing
even I
the
would like
Instagram things. There's some vintage shops there and stuff like that, and you get some very good deals. Go to an outlet mall. There's so many offers always available.
you go to New York, the outlet
There's
malls,
always something available.
Woodbury's, yeah.
Yeah, wait, buy it last to last season. If you're lucky enough to have a weird kind of size or shoe size or something like that, or if you're big enough like me,
But
to
not
get those
everyone
plus
is
size,
not everyone is as lucky as you to find the TV in those days for 70 grand.
you find, as I said, you need to explore. If you have passion, if you really want something, and if you're ready to wait, try and search, you'll get a deal. I do it multiple times. I like a shoe.
No, even I like to do it, yeah.
Yeah, I like, you know what, I'm going to wait till it's goes for discount. I'll go for that Black Friday sale. I'll wait for it.
Yeah,
It comes.
It comes 70% off, 80% off, because even I hate to pay full price for anything.
No, it's okay. If you like something, and if you really want to buy it, pay full price. Why not? But if you can wait, and if you want a deal, and if you don't have the kind of resources at that point in time, or you don't want to splurge at that point in time on that particular piece and splurge on something else.
Yeah.
So there are multiple times I go and like 3 things. I'm ready to buy 2 at full price. The third one, I'm like, I like it, but not for the value that it is right now. Maybe it goes on discount after 6 months and buy it.
But so tell me, you running successfully a magazine which is to do everything with storytelling. So which is the most integral part of storytelling for a luxury brand? For example, Rolls-Royce. When you talk about Rolls-Royce, we don't see any advertisement. They don't advertise.
They advertise with us.
That's what. So they
They've been
advertise
advertising
very
for a long time with
specific,
us, yes.
like for maybe certain club membership, certain communities. They don't advertise on TV. They don't do newspaper advertisements.
So when it comes to Rolls-Royce, do they need to advertise? Let's break it.
They don't. But still,
Simple words.
How do you
Looking
build,
at a brand,
How do you build a brand like that without advertising?
it takes persistence. It takes years and years. And as I said, when we started this conversation about finesse, one thing about Rolls-Royce, they don't cut corners. They make sure that everything is just right. And that's it. When it comes to luxury, there are no shortcuts.
Absolutely.
And that's it. You go to a good restaurant, you're not paying just for, if you go to a fancy, beautiful Michelin star restaurant, what are you paying for? Are you paying for that amazing meal? Yes, you are. but
And
you're
the
also
experience.
paying for the experience.
Yeah.
You're paying for the perfect experience,
Yeah.
your perfect service, perfect ambience. Everything
The
is a
presentation.
package.
Yeah.
Yes, what you touch, what you feel, the glassware, the cutlery, everything counts.
Yeah, we
There's-
experienced your show when we did the Ferrari event with you,
Thank you.
and it was amazing with
Thank you.
all the cutlery having Fiona branding on it, and it
See,
was very
every
nice.
little element
Yeah.
of the whole process is important. The smallest of detail.
Yeah.
So you can't miss it.
So tell me, with this all hype for not only hype but the want for luxury, and like everybody's aspiring to have luxury. So with ethical luxury coming in play, and everybody's talking about sustainability. So which brands are the ones you like, which are going hand in hand with sustainability and luxury together?
There are quite a few, though sustainable luxury, a lot of brands are doing what they can, but yeah, I mean, it's going to take some time. It's still. I remember Philip Line did for fur and everything, and they had a campaign.
They did for
Yeah, they did a beautiful campaign, and I don't know how successful it was because it is brands have limitations. They have to, for example, you need to the designs that you do in your jewelry, right? Can you choose the designs?
It's the market demand.
Exactly. So the same way, it is as the market progresses, as people start demanding more sustainable products, brands will produce them. People think that it's the brand which is trying to tell what is going to sell. It's never the case. It's always the customer. If people are looking for chinchilla, they will go and buy a chinchilla. And if you're not supplying it, you will lose that customer to somebody else. It's the I say a lot of people hate me to say that, and but it's a fact. It's the demand that transcends. And yes, brands can be ethical and say, okay, fine, we're not going to do it. Like Philip Line say, I'm not going to make fur. We are going to stick to fur. And if you can stand and if you have the backing enough, you're big enough to say, yes, we are not going to do that. God bless you. We are going to be very happy. But a lot of times, with heavy top lines, a lot of expenditure, brands say, you know what, let's just give in to the demands of the customers.
Correct. So that's what I am trying to like make a sense out of it. Like brands like LV, Hermes, they cannot create sustainable luxury, I believe, because
There are a lot of sustainable luxury. They
so
are,
what products? Because
and they
everyone
do
uses
fall.
leather.
Okay. So most of the brands are following proper sites guidelines. So sites, they are ethically farmed. Then now again, uh, it was a time when a lot of leather was not ethically sourced. They're not raised, and now they are following site guidelines. So, and you can't travel without site certificates. So, if you're carrying a exotic skin product, you need to have a site certificate on you
Like
while clearing
albino
customs.
alligator skin
Yes, so
bag or something.
it specifically says where the alligator was farmed, what country, what type of leather it has. So it's very much specific. So
So,
the
okay.
sites actually protects on that. So they are not endangered species. They will make sure that they're not unethically poached animals.
Okay, so it's not sustainable but still ethical, you mean?
Yeah, that's a very gray.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And as I said, the what brands do, it's up to them. I cannot really know, but I know which kind of line they're on currently. As I
Correct.
said, a lot has to do with with the demand.
Because yeah, and like you rightly said, it's the public demand, and which is why brands are motivated to do it because it's business at the end of the day. But then, if I talk about our business of lab-grown diamonds, it is under the category of luxury yet
Okay,
sustainable.
let me put it this way: the belt you're wearing, the belt I'm wearing, the shoes you're wearing, that's made out of leather, correct? How is leather? How do you get leather?
From animals.
From animals, correct? Now, if there's a show I like to mention here. So one of my idols, Jeremy Clarkson, has a show called Clarkson Farm. It shows why animals go through the whole cycle, or why poaching is important, why, and it's very interesting. He does it in a very interesting and funny way, but it's educational as well. A cow's life. how the last part of the cow's life is also a very big part of it, where meat is produced, where uh, leather is produced for that matter. It has to go through that cycle.
Right.
If that doesn't happen, there's a large impact. Yes, a lot of people out there want to go for leather, and that's up to them. God bless them. Now, let's say, for example, an animal is an animal. The same way, if ethically alligators are raised, okay, in farms, and they are farmed, and products are used in the same way, does it differ? A life is a life. For me,
Exactly.
wearing a leather from a cow or wearing a leather from an alligator,
Yeah.
does it really make
It's
it?
a life.
If it's not poached, if it's not endangered species or poached unethically, does it really matter? Or wearing ostrich or wearing stingray? Now understand, uh, there are process. People do eat, right? Chicken they eat, mutton they eat,
Exactly.
salmon. Now it's a part of our life, and you can't deny it. And I understand a lot of people have a lot of sentiments attached to animals, and it's okay. I also love animals. Why not?
Yeah.
But this is what it is. For us as a society to completely extract ourselves will take a lot, and it might not practically be good for the society also. So that's why I'm saying go and watch Clarkson Farm for a lot of people who've not seen it. See, why is it good to poach as well? Why is it good to keep
Maintain the
herds?
ecosystem.
Yes, this is a proper ecosystem.
Ecological balance.
Yes, yes. So, yeah.
Amazing. So I think we've discussed a good amount of concept with the luxury market and all. I would like to bring up the Q&A.
Sure,
And so are you ready? It would be like a rapid fire.
sure.
So, okay, if you could have a lifetime supply of products from any luxury brand, which brand would you choose and why?
Maybe a Patek or Hermes.
Why?
They always retain their value. They're amazing products. I love them. I love the designs. Um, even if the value part is not there, I would still love them. And just amazing. Though I might never carry a bag. There's no harm in it though. A lot of people are carrying. It's very good these days. They've also got the hack bag ready. So, but just look at it. It's beautiful. Look at the design.
Yeah.
Just an art piece. I don't mind putting it right here and putting this glass thing on it. Yeah, it's pretty.
It's a piece of art.
And there's certain collections which I love greatly.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so next one. What lesser known luxury brand do you believe deserves most recognition and why?
there are a lot of good brands out there. For a lot of people shopping on budget, I would say go for Kalgaya. They have some beautiful bags, beautiful designs, and it's a good. They have some very good products. I mean, and it's priced very nice. It's a young brand, and I feel the pearl collection with those pearl bags, everything. I've not been following them for a long time. I've not seen their latest collection, but even their classics. Every time I look at a Kalgaya bag, I think, oh, that's a cool bag.
Yeah.
That's an interesting bag, and it's a good brand. It's a decent brand and very well priced. I think even in India, you'll get a bag for about 20,000-30,000.
Oh yeah, that's a decent
I think
range.
if I'm maybe 50, but yeah, I think in that way you might get some on discounts also. But yeah,
But what's with luxury and so most people think that if it's lesser cost, it's not luxury. So what do you have to say about
as I
that?
said, it's beautiful, it's good. It is again luxury. As I said, it's personally. When I looked at the bag, it was made perfectly well. It shouted luxury in all angles because the detail in that particular bag was right there. So me, that's luxury.
But there are so many brands like shoes. It just came to my mind. Russo Brunello. To
That's an
certain
amazing brand.
yeah, they get I think inspired from Gucci and
See,
Ferragamo.
a lot of times, we look at an Indian brand and like, oh, they copy designs. There are a lot of international brands.
Absolutely.
Zara does it every now and then.
Absolutely.
Why aren't
bang
we
on,
talking
yeah.
about that? Why aren't we
Yeah,
talking
correct.
about? Okay, for example, you go to this one. Forgot that brand's name. It's the Steve Madden. Okay,
See made in
Steve Madden is a knockoff brand. They make knockoffs of practically every brand design out there.
Right.
You'll go and buy a Louboutin design shoe out there. They do copies of practically every brand out there.
Correct.
And
because they're not patented and it's the same feel and at one time the price.
you can get inspiration of any design.
Absolutely.
You have full rights to get inspiration from any particular design of any shoe or a dress. They obviously go a little bit and they change a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And but looking at it, I can see, you know what, this is a
Yeah,
copy
this
of
is-
this
yeah,
brand.
yeah.
So they've got inspiration from this brand for that matter, and they've been doing it for years. And that's what their market is. Everybody knows that you can buy a similar looking product for a much
Correct.
cheaper price at this one.
So I've
And
recently-
if an Indian brand is doing it, what's the problem then?
I think the one brand which is very prominent and which has done it on the face is just Cavalli watches for the Serpentine from Bulgari. They have done it on the
Okay,
face.
so Chiskawali design has been an older design. It's actually been from a long. They're not really copied it. And interestingly, they have a Frank Miller movement. So Cavalli
Oh, I
watches,
didn't know this one.
Roberto Cavalli has a Frank Miller movement.
But
So
how come
technically,
they're
it's a Frank Miller watch.
just selling it for 25 grand?
No. So their bridge to luxury products, I think, are on a cheaper end. Roberto Cavalli watches, and their bridge to luxury, which is Cavalli Class and just Cavalli, I think is the entry level products. But their designs have their own. They have a different design altogether. Yes, you can draw inspiration from the Serpentine,
Yeah.
but it's it's been there for a longer period of time.
Yeah, the segment who do not really know a Serpentine, which would be probably a 15 lakh, 20 lakhs watch.
I think anybody can
It's the
notice
same
a Serpentine and a difference between a Cavalli Serpentine watch.
Absolutely.
And it's very much visible.
It is. But I think the ideation is from there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain times, the people who have written different songs, they sound similar. It's something like that.
Okay.
They've not taken it from each other, but yeah, it's just by
Inspired.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, next one. If you were to create your own luxury brand, what would it specialize in and what would it set it apart from existing brands?
Really, right now, it's just focused on the magazine. We've been doing it
So
for a
this is
good more time.
hypothetical. If suppose you were to create your own luxury brand, and so what would it specialize in?
I would love to get into crystalware.
Crystalware.
Yeah.
Wow.
Full glasses.
We could do something together. We could make diamond dresses for you.
No, crystal. I mean glasses. I
Go
love
beyond.
glasses. And Riedel is one of my favorite brands. Nachman Riedel are beautiful wine glasses. Beautiful glassware is something
Oh yeah,
so that's something which I really like.
like the Versace glasses with the Medusa and the whiskey glasses.
That's
So
a little
done to
too
death.
loud for me, and I'm more into the detailing. Good crystal. There's a brand called Riedel, and Riedel glasses are one of the best glasses out there for wines and stuff.
Oh yeah, how much they
But
cost?
costing wise, there are a lot of ranges. I think in
40,000.
India you'll get it about 6,000-7,000, and it's one of the most famous glasses. But it's also about the experience. It's not just having good wine.
Yeah,
It's having good wine, the way of having good wine.
yeah.
So
So I think that answers my question of how would it be different from existing brands. There is no other brand which is
there are a lot of brands who are doing good, but I think India still needs to. I remember this one story, and I know the guy as well now. If I'm not wrong, it was Ankur. I might be wrong there. So during the 7/11 attacks in Mumbai, that chaos, that mess, there were people trapped in Taj, and I think it's in that book as well. And I might be a little because it's a memory I have, and I don't have the exact story but I remember this somebody telling me, and I think that the guy is Ankur who did this. But anyway, leaving that aside, the story goes that people were trapped. Obviously, it was a very stressful time. The whole nation, for that matter.
right.
And imagine people who were actually there in that particular hotel
Correct.
at that point in time. The kind of stress running through them, the kind of trauma they must have gone through, and not just about the people, the guests, also the staff. They are also human beings, the same. They're not different from you or me, for that matter.
Right.
Correct. Now, some people were stuck near a bar or something, and this one person was really frustrated. He's like, you know what? I want to just go and have a drink. He goes to the bar, pulls up a bottle, and he was pouring it into a glass. And he's like, I want to have a drink because he was stressed, extremely stressed, and the whole atmosphere was stressed.
This is a real story of
It's a real story.
26/11
Yes,
attack.
yes,
Really?
yes.
Wow.
sorry, 2611. I said 7.
Yeah.
So the story now as goes that while he was pouring his drink, the server, who's actually also stuck and going through the same experience, said,
It's like
so
last
sorry,
wish, let me
you know,
die
yeah,
high.
so sorry. But that's not the right glass. Let me get you the right glass. He took that glass away and got him the right glass.
Who did this?
Technically, I might be wrong. I think Ankur, he's a mixologist. He might have done that, or it must be somebody else. But if the story, I'm more emphasizing on the story rather than the person. But imagine the service of a hotel, the impeccable service that even at that stress point, they were able to take care of their customer A. Okay, that talks about luxury in the right way. And B, they understood the reason that, having a drink, it it it's not always, it's the whole thing, as I said. And that's the thing about,
Like, no matter what, be luxurious. It's like, no
no,
matter what the situation
it's
is.
not about that. It's not about, it's a way of life.
It's a way of life. That's what in the start of a conversation you're talking
it's,
about.
it's not
It's
about,
a way of life.
and it is, I'm not trying to be pretentious. I'm not trying to be like, oh la la, like that. No, it's just,
It's just a way of life. You
It's
cannot
just a
settle
way
for
of
less.
life.
You
It's not-
set a standard for yourself.
it's not for yourself. It just feels right.
Yeah.
Try having, wine in a plastic glass.
Oh yeah,
I'm not saying it's anything wrong. The wine is the same,
yeah.
right?
We've done it all. I've lived in hostels all my
Yeah.
life. So
Does it feel, and have the same wine
yeah,
in a proper glass? Does it make any difference?
100%.
If it makes any difference to you, and if you feel that, wow, it
100%.
makes a difference to myself, if it makes a good difference to you, then go ahead.
Absolutely.
And then you say, you know what, I don't want to, at point in life, you say that, you know what, this is not the way I want to have it anymore. I want to have it the right way.
Correct.
I want to have it the right. So that's about it.
Absolutely. So okay. So next one. Which luxury brand do you think has the most iconic logo or emblem, and what does it symbolize to you?
The iconic logo or emblem. Wow, interesting. I would say the spirit of ecstasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and why? What signify? How does it? What does it signify to you?
So it signifies freedom. It signifies, the way I look at the world. You can just spread your wings and fly if you want to. You can soar, and get the wind, grasp the wind in your face.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So of course, so you are you aware that logos speak a lot about companies, and there is a entire science behind logos. And since I'm also deeply into the science of graphology and understanding
Very
how
nice.
so it's very interesting. So we recently got our logo changed, and
nice.
it really signifies the mindset of the owner and the culture in the company. So my guru, the person, my teacher who's taught me this, runs those classes, and he's the best in India. He can see a logo and tell you the mindset of the owner and where the company is leading and what are the flaws in the company.
Interesting.
Like, so there are color codes which play with your psychology, which attract certain kind of businesses. So for example, you see the FedEx logo, and there's an arrow inside. So it just shows move forward. Then there's Amazon logo which shows, if there's a arrow which shows A to Z of shopping. So those significances. So logos, I think, are really very important, and it should look pleasing. The colors should be pleasing. If you look at any logos of a masala brand, it would be red in color. Any pharmacy should be green in color. Blue is for electronics. So this way, every industry, and with luxury, I've seen it majorly goes with black or purple, or these are the
Yeah, purple
aspirational colors.
is nice. Again, I feel the cleaner and classier it is.
Absolutely, clean logo is the number one thing.
It's negative space plays a lot of big role.
Absolutely, you can't be
And-
having a loud logo shouting at 30%
Yeah, I mean,
space.
the negative space plays. It's not about the logo. It's about the negative space.
Correct.
It's about those fine lines. It's about the cleaner look.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it just looks perfect.
Yeah. So I just in this conversation I remember seeing one print ad with Times of India, and it was, I think, De Beers Forever Mark Diamond. They were doing an advertisement. The first full page of Times of India was blank. Second was blank. On third is just one little logo of De Beers and with a line with a statement, "Oh, we could afford it."
Very
So
cool.
it's
a very
just
cool line.
snob. It's being thing. That's with luxury. That okay, we can.
I
There's
can give you
more
a good idea.
space.
Though ads, print ads easier, not that in play. I can give you a good idea of an ad. See, again, it's about noticing the detailing in life. For example, if you see a beautiful white wall, okay, and let's say I put a small dot on it, what will draw your attention?
The dot.
That wall could have been painted with the best paint in the world, just perfect. I could get the best painter to make sure that, or get the best machinery to make sure that wall is just perfect. Or we can get the best of marble and make sure that it's perfect white crystal marble.
Yeah.
Without any literally that's not really technically marble. Yeah. Let's say example we get a stone which is completely pure white.
Yeah.
And then also I just take a sketch pen and make a small dot on there. What will draw your attention?
Yeah, the small dot.
Why is that so?
Yeah, because it's called the missing tile syndrome. You build the best of the houses, and one tile is broken, and they'll be, oh, why is that tile broken?
Exactly. So the idea is, when it comes to luxury, the negative space plays a lot of big role. You need that negative space for getting the attention drawn at the one thing that is the most important thing.
And it should be pleasing to the eyes as well.
I was saying, you should make an ad which is a complete blank page, and over that you should have one small dot, which is the size of, let's say, a 1 carat diamond. Okay, and you should have one more dot, which is, let's say, a 3 carat or 4 carat. I don't know the price difference between lab grown and natural. Which side would you choose, the natural or
That's a good one.
So a person can, when you see the whole blank space, you see those two dots, you'll actually get a perspective of the difference between these two sizes.
Yeah,
it would be it's an idea.
We can try that. So there's another one for you, which is the last one maybe. So if you could give me so if you could give someone a single item from any luxury brand as a symbol of appreciation, what would you choose and whom would you give it to?
So obviously my wife, my mom, or my daughter. Those are the only 3 most important people in my life. Obviously, family was most important, but
and what would you choose?
What would I choose? I would say I'll go for the classics. I will go for maybe a nice watch.
Yeah, watch is timeless, huh? Bags got torn.
No, I mean bags also I don't mind, but I think bags they have enough. But yeah, a good bag maybe I don't mind giving a good exotic bag, but a good watch is something maybe like a Cartier Crash or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So now a twister one. Can a luxury brand be made out of selling sex products? If yes, why?
So why not? Why not? YSL I just saw. Actually, so there's a beautiful shop in Paris, and they have a beautiful coffee shop also. YSL has a beautiful coffee shop. So Saint Laurent just launched their condoms. They kept there. They're like £2 or €2 technically. So yeah,
so what was the luxury element in there?
They just branded. I'm sure the product is the same. But yeah, a lot of people...
The packaging maybe.
The packaging. See, again, luxury for a lot of people is different. You got to understand that there is no right and wrong answer when it comes to luxury. Right. It is what it makes me feel.
Correct. So that's, I think, the bottom line. How it makes you feel.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel that if I want to buy an XYZ product, for example, you go to, though there are a lot of beautiful coffee shops out there, and I'm sure, like in London, Ralph Coffee, for example, New York right now, beautiful truck out there. We've always gone there every time I go, right in front of Saxon. There's a beautiful Ralph. I pick up a coffee there. I'm sure that I can pick up a coffee anywhere, and there are a lot of good places I can pick up a coffee. Yeah. What difference does it make that makes me go to Ralph every time you go there? And you know what? I'm going to have a Ralph coffee. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just makes me feel good. I like it. I like the brand. I feel I have a kind of relation to the brand. I wear a lot of their products.
Right.
I remember last time I was shooting, and we had a shoot there scheduled for the OTT. For the OTT, we were planning to do a shoot there. And we're like, where should we shoot? We'll shoot at Ralph. We'll sit around the corner. It's beautiful Christmas time. It's all decorated. And we'll shoot there. And I was picking up, what should I wear? I picked up a beautiful, Ralph hoodie, which is in the same green color. And I had some beautiful, I like I can relate to the brand. I buy the brand. I like the brand, and I have a bond and relation already existing with the brand. So it's an extension. So
Yeah.
it's not just about it's branded, so I want to buy it. Do I have an extension? And some people just want to buy it because it's branded. But
Yeah.
a lot of people are actually drawn to the products because it's a kind of like a natural extension to themselves.
Yeah. So that's what I feel. You bang on that. If a brand makes you feel great, it's a perfect luxury definition. But I pity people who try to buy brands to impress others. I think that's not the right way to
It's
do it.
perfectly fine. It's up to them. If they feel that that's
Okay,
what they need,
even correct. Even that's
I mean,
right.
how is it wrong?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. If they
it's
feel
their money.
Yeah.
Let them do what
Yeah.
they want to do with the money. I
Absolutely.
always ask, who are we to judge?
Absolutely.
If somebody is buying brand to make an impression on their girlfriend or their boss or their boss's wife or anybody for that matter, how are
True
we
that.
bothered by it?
Sure.
God bless him.
Yeah.
He might be looking for a good promotion. I don't know. He want to dress up sharply and say he can flaunt it, or want to prove it to the world that what, I can afford something.
Correct.
Why? What's the harm in that?
Yeah.
People have been doing that for years, man.
Yeah. And I think for most husbands, it's just happy wife is a happy life.
Yeah.
So
The neighborhoods have always been there. Your neighbor pulling a beautiful car in your car, and the other person going buying a similar car. It's always been there. It's always going to be there in each society.
absolutely.
So we should not frown upon that.
Great conversations, Puruskar, and I would really again like to thank you to
Thank you, Parag. It was
to
wonderful.
make it to the PDA show. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good, wonderful day.